Hi, it's Sarah here from Crafting and Stamping, here with the second card from our online workshop for February. And this is the make and take pack, and I'm going to step you through how I'm doing this so that you'll be able to have a go at this with your make and take pack, but I'm also giving a few alternative ideas as well. Now I'm using the stitched framelets, the rectangle stitched framelets, or yeah, rectangle stitched framelets for this. And I'm actually using the smallest and narrowest in this particular case. But this idea will work with other framelets, it will work with punchers, and I'll just give you an idea of that sort of as we get towards the end. So I've got a rich raspberry card base here, and we're again using our Dainty Flowers DSP, so free with £45 purchase during Sale-a-bration. And I'm actually using this pattern because it happens to work well with the framelit that I've chosen. But this is one of those areas where you can mix and match with what you've got. If you don't have, for example, these framelets, but you've got a punch, then maybe you could punch pieces from these areas, for example. There is also a smaller pattern, but I think that this might be a little bit too small, but you could give it a go. So this same idea can be sized with different patterns within this pack. So what I've done, let me grab my bits of paper. What I've done is die cut from the paper. So I sort of picked out something, for example, like this one. So I'll just grab my die cutting machine and show you how this works. This might mean it goes a little bit shaky because die cutting on my desk does tend to cause a bit of a wobble. So you might want to take down your die so that it doesn't move on you, but I'm usually pretty sure of my die cutting. So this is what we're going to do. Let's just line that all the way out. And I've gone for more of the rich raspberry colours in the flowers. There may be a little bit of variation depending on which make and take pack you get. I won't necessarily be able to do all rich raspberry. And you'll see with this one, what I've done is use 2 rich raspberries and then a crushed curry one sort of in the centre. I will get you something that will work with it. So that's what we do. We die cut out our piece, and then this just needs pressing out carefully. So just press that out from the die, and that would give you another option. Like I say, if we're running out of rich raspberry colours, then we could maybe go with a blushing bride one, or have a couple of the crushed curries and then a rich raspberry in the centre, for example. So to put this card together, I've got the stitch framelit, the narrow stitch framelit done from basic white to use as a sentiment. And as you'll see, this is another of the patterns of the Dainty Flowers DSP that comes, and this is a fresh freesia, so I think this works really well with this. So I will grab my tape runner, my seal, and to assemble we're just going to pop this on, and I've just turned that over. I don't know whether you can even see it, but there's just a tiniest margin bigger on that side, so that is my front. Just means that you can actually open the card a little bit easier. So I always make, if there's one side that's a little bit longer than the other, make that my front. So there we've got that. And then we're going to stick our die cut pieces onto here. And I'm just roughly putting them on. But I'm going back to my Tombow, my wet glue, again, so that I've got that little bit of slide time. So I'm just going to pop a bit of Tombow on these. Again, keeping it fairly thin around the edges. And what I recommend is that you pop the two outer ones on first. Now, these aren't done so that it's absolutely even. They are done so that there's just a little bit of extra space side to side. And the reason for that was just because I didn't want it to be too narrow in the centre of this landscape card, but yet turning it to a vertical portrait card was not quite going to work for me either. So I've just popped those two end pieces on, and that then lets me know exactly where I need this centre one. The centre one's just going to go bang centre between the two ones that I've put on already. Whereas if you go all the way along, you might end up having to trim a bit off one side or another. So there we have those pieces. And we're just going to pop those up on dimensionals on our card here. But to get an idea of where I want to put it, I'll just place this here because I want a little bit of room for that. So I know that I need to put it fairly well up near the top of the card there. So we'll stick some dimensionals on these. And if you need to change the colours, you know, if you don't have rich raspberry, then have a look at the other flower colours we've got in here. And sorry if you can hear my doggy underneath the desk, as he often is, rustling about, making noise or snoring as he does. But he doesn't like being left on his own. Oh, I know. Yeah. You don't need to talk to them. So I'm going to put that on and leave it fairly near the top and make sure that my pieces are even side to side. So now I just need to add my sentiment, and what do I want for that? So I'm going with the Something Fancy, and I haven't even put my sticker on the back of all of these yet. There's just a couple that I've done. So this is the problem at the moment. I'm dashing about from one thing to another, so I'm just double checking I've got that the right way up. I've not got my sticker on. It will work just as well without the sticker, but you then have to make sure you've got it the right way up. So there we are. And I hope that I can get this pretty central without my sticker to guide me. So again, I'm going to hover over the top, make sure that looks straight. And that's not bad at all. So there's my one for the front, and I'm actually going to use my edge pieces. These are ideal for this. So I'm just going to snip this and snip there and use that edge piece for this sentiment strip. And that then is going to go evenly between, like that. So that's that. Now for the insert, we've just kept a little piece of paper here from this, so that's going there. And again, I'm using something fancy. This is from the January to April catalogue, and there are dies that go with this as well. I'm not using the dies today, but I'm going to use another stamp from this. You could, if it's likely to be a belated birthday, use this sentiment here. I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out the celebration, which I really like. But I'm going with this, nothing fancy, just love. And again, I've not actually created this one yet. So do you know what? I will show you putting the sticker on. So I tend, if I've not finished putting the stickers on, I just pop that in the front behind to help me so that I don't lose it. So this is the one that I need, nothing fancy, just love. And there's a cut down the centre of all of these, so you can just peel up from that centre cut like that. You want to make sure you've got your stamp the right way round. Ideally you want to do this in really good light, because what you now need to do is line up the outer shape of this with the outer shape that you've got here. So I tend to bring it down and hover it and just have a little look around to make sure that I've got it pretty straight to what is on there. And then we can pull that up and you've got your sticker in place. Right, so now again I'm going to just stamp this onto my insert. Again, I'm leaving a little bit of space for my DSP strip here. And again, it's not stuck down because I want to do my stamping first. If I make a mistake, I can flip the paper over, but I can't do that if I've already stuck the strip on. So just making sure that that is inked up. And let's just straighten my desktop. So I'm just going to stamp that like that. So now I'm happy with that. Let's just put the ink away so that I don't get that on anything. And I'm going to put the strip down the side of the insert. Like that. And I do like this sentiment set. I like the combination they've got of the two different fonts. I think that works particularly well. Right, so we're going to pop that in there like that. And that is our finished card number 2. So this is the sort of thing, might be different flowers that you get in your make and take pack. If you're doing this at home, then another option that you've got with this, and this is what I did here, I actually cut out a portion here and then punched it out with this oval punch. Now you do need to just be a bit careful, because if you're punching with this, it's going to punch into the next section as well. That's why I actually cut out a section to be able to use here. But if you were doing this crushed curry one, for example, you know, you could get that nicely centered up there and punch it out, and there you've got a nice little oval there. So I had punched that one out, and then you could punch from the rich raspberry, and instead of having one background mat there, each of your flowers could be an oval punched like that. So that is another option for you with this card. Like I say, basically have a look at what either dies you've got in your cupboard or punches, and you can mix and match using those and using the different pattern papers, because as I say, the Dainty Flowers pack has got a nice selection of different sizes of flowers. So we've got 3 different sizes of flowers on these papers. So you've got a good choice there, something that will probably fit something that you've got in your store cupboard. Right, so that's card number 2.